Yo, what's going on, guys? I got towed to a parts store, which is kind of frowned upon, but pretty much I need to use their code reader. I'm going to check and see what's going on with this thing. So I'm going down the road, towing this boat. I got like 400 miles to go. There's like 60, 70, I think it was 78 miles left. And it just dies out of nowhere. You got to restart it and it cranks like and gets like stuck, like a compression is stuck or something. Like it's hydraulically locking the cylinder or something weird. So it makes me think I have the classic Chevy Astro distributor problems. I see that all over the internet. It seems like a lot of time when the timing isn't right, it's usually the distributor. I guess a couple times it's been the timing chain and some things I've seen, but usually it's the distributor, worn drive gear, slop in the distributor. So I'm guessing that's probably what it is, but I guess I'm looking for like a P300 code or something like that. AutoZone can test. So I'm going to have them do that, run a code read on it. My battery's kind of low. I got this little solar panel kit right here. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm trying to aim it. I got those little 2 solar panels. They're advertised as like 100-watt panels, but they're not 100 watts. Each of those squares makes 5, so those are 20-watt panels. 40 watts will put in good sun. In low sun, 2 to 3 amps. And good sun, more like 7 or 8 amps, which is pretty decent compared to a weak battery charger. So if you can get them set up in the sun, you can do all right. I got the charge controller back here, cigarette lighter plug going to my rear outlet. Right now I threw the wire out the window, and I'm going to put those 2 panels on the roof. Sun's not even up yet. Or it's barely up. It's way over there. Actually, I was just thinking I need to aim them south. I don't know what I'm thinking. It gets aimed east in the morning, then south and up in the day, and then west at night. Anyhow, or towards the evening. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get a little bit of a charge on here. Hopefully, so they don't have to put a charger on it, just to run a code reader. And I'm going to see about organizing this and getting to the back of the doghouse. I'm thinking about, okay, on these distributors, they have a pancake-style distributor cap. Basically, you'll see the wires go out to the left and the right instead of coming off the top like most HEI distributors. Now, I guess these ain't even technically HEI because the ignition coil's like off to the side. But basically what ends up happening is that cap causes problems too. And they have, like where it screws on, they have these little, like what they call ears. It's like a little tab that comes out on the top where it attaches to the distributor. And apparently, those like to break when you take them apart. Now, I can get to that point where I don't have to remove the actual rotor and just wiggle it back and forth and see if there's a bunch of slop in it. And if it turns back and forth with a bunch of slop in it, I'm under the impression that would show you where your timing problem is. And let you know it's bad. So I'm thinking I should take this doghouse off. You have a couple of torque screws on each side. On this side of the doghouse here. This side under a little plug. Then there's a couple of bolts down there. A couple of bolts back there. Some wires to unplug. And then like 2 pieces come off. The one center console thing with the cup holder comes off. And then the main doghouse comes off too. And then the distributor will be right in the back. I should be able to just remove the cap and look for the slop. I'm thinking about doing that before they even open, because if I find slop in it, I might as well just replace the distributor. And it doesn't actually look that super hard, even though I'm on the side of the road. I think it can be done here somewhat stealthy. I mean, you don't even have to have the hood open, apparently. I mean, I probably will, so the light will come through and you can see better, but like, you can pretty much do it from inside. So I'm hoping if that's the direction I'm going, it's not going to be that bad. give you another video updating my progress or whatever. But I mean, besides that, I mean, I ended up exit 35, Clintonville, PA, on the side of the road. I just sat there for almost 2 days. I broke down on like the 3rd of July. Today's the 5th. I got this brought here last night under the impression they'd be open till 9 o'clock. We showed up at 8 o'clock and they weren't open. So I left it here, took a walk, and then kind of in the middle of the night I came back and, you know, a couple hours of sleep. I'm gonna get up and be moving around when they get here. So it doesn't look like I'm trying to live in their parking lot. I just, you know, kind of bad timing. It takes all day with roadside assistance. You're like, well, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll get the AutoZone. And, you know, next thing you know, like after trying to coordinate some things, having a trailer made it kind of complicated. Progressive was actually pretty good about it. It took like a supervisor to get it done. And I had to use 2 of my tows to get the van as one and the trailer as another. But they did get them both with me, so I can't complain at all. I kind of thought it was more than 15 miles towing. I was actually under the impression it was like 100 miles towing. I could just get them taken home, but apparently that's not it. You need more like AAA for that, which I'm considering buying, but let me see what's going on here. Now, if I can't solve this, I have another plan. Okay, I had a friend, my friend Ben was supposed to be on my way to help me, but I don't know what's up with him. He must have got sidetracked. Maybe it was because of the 4th of July. I don't know what's going on, but he hasn't really gotten back to me. That's kind of sucks because I spent a lot of time waiting for him too. Then I had a guy that was going to tow both of them home for $300. I should have done that. Affordable towing. I'm sorry. I didn't just go ahead and grab it. Now, apparently he's on vacation now and I can't get that price. So I'm looking for other people to haul it back. I also have other ideas. In Ohio, you can usually get a hitch on a truck if you rent it from like Enterprise or something. So if I rent an Enterprise truck, I can take my boat. And then there are ways to rent a car trailer. I could borrow a car trailer, possibly off Ben if I can catch up with him. My old car trailer, which you might have seen in my old videos. And if I could borrow that, then it'd be good. If not, I can rent one for $125 at a couple of different places, or a little less. So I'm trying to coordinate that as a backup plan. Basically, my backup plan would be not to have this at an AutoZone for 24 hours, like to get it out of here today. If it's not a quick, simple fix, I'm going to work on getting the rental, getting the boat out of here immediately because I have the boat behind me in their parking lot too, which is just ridiculous. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. That's sitting next to me. It's ridiculous. Okay, and then if that don't work, then I would just use the rental truck to tow the boat. Then grab a trailer. Like there's multiple options. U-Haul. I can get a U-Haul trailer. I could get a dolly and take the drive shaft off. And then just the rear wheels will spin. It won't turn the drive shaft or anything. It's all-wheel drive. You gotta be careful with that. Or I could rent one of these trailers for $100 or $125 a day. So I have options. But yeah, this just sucks, man, because like my situation is I am on the 5th of July and I was illegally evicted and pushed out of my house on the 10th. I had to go places I didn't want to go for 10 days because people kind of exaggerated, me being upset about a situation into more of a mental problem, which, excuse me, depression, anxiety, and stress will do that to a person. It really wasn't that horrible. But basically, I went through 10 days of stuff, then got this, then wasn't able to get access to any of my property whatsoever, didn't have any of my paperwork, got locked out of Venmo, Zelle, had no way to get my money, had no way to pay my bills, had no way to pay the storage for this boat, had no way to pay the storage for the bus, had no access to get the money from somebody I'm selling a house to that's giving me the money to taxes that I'm supposed to forward for their taxes. I couldn't do that. It was all screwed up. I don't have access to my Gmail. I don't have access to my Facebooks. I don't have access to my contact list. I got about 5 contacts. And if you get a new phone, you can't get in your old Google anymore without your old phone. It wants you to use one of your devices on one of your old networks, which is a place I'm not allowed to go, and I'm not getting my stuff. So it's kind of screwed up. Well, I'm not getting my stuff as of right now. After a judge's order, I should. But that left me to a point where it was like I couldn't even get in like anything accounts. I couldn't contact people. My social media, I don't got a large following, but there's 50 or 100 people that would bounce some things around and see if they could get me some help. Maybe Home on Wheels Alliance could help if I was in a real jam. That's something to look into if you do a lot of traveling. Check out Home on Wheels Alliance. They help people when they're really hurting, and they need people to help others too. Anyhow, now that I've changed the subject 9 times and got a little scattered about it, I'm just trying to get this thing to my shop, man. That's all. Get this thing in my boat to my shop. And then if I can get it running, I got to go all the way back to the city of Philadelphia for a stupid court date that I don't really want nothing to do with because of people's massive, massive amounts of exaggerating. To try to get my stuff back and everything else. But I'm not going to be able to do that if I get stranded here. So, of course, things got to be complicated. You take like 10 trips across the state, no problems. Have to be back in a certain amount of time? Well, that's when irony comes in. So I guess wish me luck. We're going to try to figure this out. I'll get you guys a little bit more info, like as I try to figure this out. I'll update you what I learned, and I guess I'll show you what I do if that doesn't work to actually keep it moving. I have limited resources, only got a few $100s to make it happen. It's a stretch. Like seriously, I'm gonna need like the Lord above to help me at this point. Like seriously. Whew. I don't think I'm making it through this without some help from above. I really don't. So, anyway, we'll see what happens.